So, when you read the word remastered attached next to a game from 2006, your first thought, if you're me at least, is great, it's just gonna launch on its own without me having to mess with the files or hook it up to a live support machine. But, my dear, this is a Frogwares remaster we're talking about, so I actually had to go out of my way to download another version of the PhysX Loader DLL file, because the one that comes with the game just wasn't working. You know that you've strayed too far from God when not even the tutorials on how to make the game run link you to a specific file download. I just noticed that all the problems seem to revolve around the PhysX loader and decided to replace it. And now, great, we can finally start the Awakened.
Go away, you swine! Leave, or I'll make you bleed!
These all came from the swamps. Could be toting contraband.
Holmes! Help me! Do not fight the calling!
Blood!
I beg of you, Holmes! Fata! Relieve your blood!
Oh, no. No, it can't be. It can't end like this. Again, this nightmare haunts me. It won't let me forget. How did this all begin? Good morning, Holmes. Looks like a typical London day. Fog in the morning, fog in the afternoon. Ha! And here's a surprise, fog in the evening.
Good morning, Watson.
Can you imagine? I have been at it since 5 a.m, and I scarcely think my list of patients for the day has even been touched. What is more insufferable, I haven't even had a moment with the morning paper. They say the minister will assuredly... Holmes! Whatever is the matter? You haven't heard a word I have said.
It is the tedium, my dear Watson. Life is ordinary, the papers are lifeless. Any hint of audacity, and dare I say romance, has vanished from the criminal world.
Holmes, it is only temporary. You know perfectly well that sooner or later an exceptional incident will occur in London or thereabout, which cannot rest till the talents of Sherlock Holmes are called into play. Then it will be up to your agile wit to set things right, which should satisfy your constant need for mental gymnastics.
I hope the heavens hear your words, Watson. I hope they do indeed.
I must take my leave, Holmes. I have an appointment with a rather odious man, Captain Stenick. He is apparently in a state, with near tachycardia due to some problem involving his manservant. Why don't you get out for a brisk walk, Holmes? Perhaps buy a newspaper or visit that fellow, Barnes, over on Glentworth Street. You might remember him, the bookseller. He has some new volumes of the particular sort that should occupy your mind for a time.
Okay, let's unpack these first few cutscenes. The game starting with Watson having nightmares about the case makes expectations shoot through the roof. This guy has been solving crimes with Holmes for who knows how long. What exactly happened to give him nightmares? And then we get that intro cutscene, which... rough. Ambitious, doing all that with no shadows or darkness to hide, but still, rough. We then get our dear old married couple yapping, and then... So, comparing this Holmes with the Silver Earring Holmes, we can notice a sort of yesification of this illustrious character. I suppose he couldn't have turned into Henry Cavill overnight. We can then move around and... Oh my god, Frogwares, you fucked it up again! Why is Holmes the size of a child here? Well, I guess I like the Baker Street Hall here. Outside, one of the irregulars is selling the Strand, and we ask him if there's anything going on. He says that not much, just a Scandinavian princess wreaking havoc. Holmes asks the boys to investigate, and just like that, he's off to tell the others that Mr. Holmes wants some information. We then pick up the newspaper. Let's see. Something about a unique conjunction that allows us to see a star that's usually hidden from view. More about the scandal-plagued Swedish princess Ildor. Seems like her bodyguard went missing. Matthias Fernson, security guard, dead. R.I.P. dude. A callback to the red wig from the last game. Apparently it ended up with a fish. Let's laugh a bit. Ads. Ooh, daring thefts. Prominent hotels and private estates in Paris. Initials AL. Oh, okay, I don't think Arsène Lupin was giving Watson nightmares. Let's move on. Huh, first person perspective? Oh, hell no, go back. Oh, we're gonna actually walk around the streets? Okay. We're heading to Barnes' bookstore, or at least trying to. Oh god, the street has two sides. Just because you slapped a first-person mode to your game doesn't excuse the bad point-and-click design, you know? On another note, glad to inform you that the point-and-click movement is slightly more responsive than the previous game. Slightly. Well, let's see what new books are available here. Book about pirates, Sharks of McGrinty. Apparently this McGrinty was the worst, most horrible, most awful pirate of them all. A man of profane appetites and disregard for all humanity. And of course he has an infamous lost treasure. Guess we'll take it? The book, I mean, but also the treasure maybe, who knows. A book about fishes, okay, sure, take it, we have the money, whatever. And here we find out that there are certain places that are literally inaccessible without the first person option. There's nothing of interest here, but I'm willing to bet that there will be in the future. So what gives? Is the point and click aspect just... or the first person? Ugh. I guess what I'm trying to ask is why both? Wanted to explore first person but didn't want to give up on your point and click audience? I don't know. And we still have 4 games by Frogwares to go through, by the way. I'm scared. We take the books and leave. heading back to Baker Street, but then we can see Watson waving us over. He brings up the patient he mentioned before, Captain Stanek. His condition isn't serious, but what brought it about is quite peculiar. Maybe we could make some sense out of it.
Captain, I understand from Watson you are quite upset.
Any man will be the same, and with less provocation. My servant has left in the middle of the night. Damned ungrateful after all I have done for him. To top it off, he knows not one word of English. Finally, if he causes any damage, I will bear the brunt of people's anger and suffer the consequences, as I am the person who brought him to England.
How long was he in your employment, and is he accustomed to vanishing in this manner?
We returned from Australia more than 5 months ago now. But to his credit, he never left this house before now. He is afraid of the city, as are many inhabitants from open spaces.
Could he have stolen something?
Upon my word, no.
How much money does he have on his person?
Frankly speaking, he didn't have any money. I kept his wages for him, and they are in my safe. In any event, what the deuce would he have a need for money?
Who knew that he worked at your home, and had he any contacts here in London?
Anyone who deals with me professionally knows Baopa is my personal servant. As for his contacts, they are limited to the delivery men who bring food or other items to my home. What reason could he have to see anyone other than myself?
Why do I have a sneaking suspicion that Baopa was more a sex slave than a personal servant? The policeman obviously doesn't care, whatever, let's investigate. At the back of the house, here's the shack where Baopa slept. We can see that the lock wasn't cracked, there are footsteps leading away, and there's a piece of cloth stuck to the door frame. Inside, from this spot on the ground, we get a pebble that appears to contain some sort of opioid. We shall examine it more closely later. On the ground, there are some strange drawings. What appears to be a human figure running away from a huge wave filled with vague flying fish creatures. We can only look at his mattress in first-person mode, but there's nothing there. Heading back outside and following the footsteps, we can see that they lead to the wall, and inspecting closely, we can see that this right shoe is missing a nail, and there's a fish scale near it. Walking around to the other side of the wall and using the ladder to check the spikes more closely, we notice some fibers that were caught on one of them. And then the game bugged out! I talked to everyone on the block as a matter of fact, collected all the clues, but the game just didn't get the memo. So I had to learn how to perform a save transplant on this game, which is different and more complicated than the silver earring. Yay, Frogwares! So, okay, here we are at the Baker Street lab. And this one is actually way more intuitive than the previous one. Well done, Frogwares! First, we look at the piece of cloth found in the door frame.
Very interesting.
Wow, Holmes, you're amazing! Now onto the fibers we found on the spike. They're from a rope made of hemp, with stains that are...
This is evidently coal soot mixed with water, and given the absence of any salt particulates, it must be fresh water.
Now onto the opium pebble. Cutting it in half, we can extract some seeds? Mustard seeds mixed with something else. This is a meatball? What in tarnation were drug users doing in the 19th century? Yep, that's opium, alright. Lastly, onto the fish scales. According to the book we got earlier, it's from a perch, a fish with high commercial and culinary value, so not just any old fish. We then switch to Watson's POV, talking to the newspaper boy. He doesn't have much news on the princess's bodyguard, only that he probably got mixed up with the wrong sort of lady and that he was a giant. I kinda love Watson's disappearing hat. Like... Wait, is that Jamie from Mythbusters? Oh, sorry sir, thought you were someone else. There's this lady in orange here. I don't know, I feel like we're supposed to pay attention to her there, with her luggage, but we can't talk to her. Anyways. We visit the bookseller, asking how his brain is, and then ask if he has any books on the Maoris. He says that if he does, it'll be on that bottom shelf over there. Sorry, which one? You know, that one over there. The book on the Maoris was, in fact, not on that bottom shelf over there, but on this table here. Let's see. Dreams are at the center of the Maori spiritual bases. Dreams represent our communion with sacred spirits. Sometimes someone has a dream that seems meaningful, so they draw it on the floor, the shaman interprets it, and based on the interpretation, there's a radical shift in the tribe's life. And then the author defends this way of life, saying that if the apocalypse happens one day, the first sign will probably not be found in science, but in an obscure dream. Well said, my man, well said. Back in Baker Street...
Holmes, what on earth did you say to Barnes to put him in such a state?
Not now, Watson, although I'm sure this bit of news is most significant. It must wait. We are piecing together a singular affair. This abduction story is much more complex than it appears. As I noted before, our next move is to locate the place of employment for one of the villains who abducted the young Maori. What part of London would such a man call home?
Wait, seriously? I have no idea. I'm not even sure it's an abduction. I mean, the guy was having dreams. It's not unreasonable to assume he went looking for someone who might share his views and help him out with that. Let's try the only neighborhood, is that even used there, that I actually remember in London.
Your intentions are good, my dear Watson, but you have missed everything of importance.
Fine. Let's look at the walkthrough. Docks or Thames? Oh yeah, because of the fish scale, I guess. So here we go to the warehouses near the Thames in the middle of the night. Walking into a pub, we order our pints and ask for a man who works in a fishing boat that has a coal-fed boiler. Robust man, wearing iron soles. Very specific there, Holmes. The barman obviously doesn't know who we're talking about, but tells us to go talk to Harper. He lives in a house after the bridge, and it has a big anchor painted on it. We can't miss it. He should be able to help us. Okay, thank you. Oh, and there's also this guy over here.
He's been waiting ever so long for a new wooden hand. It was to be here yesterday, but still no sign of it. He's quite low and has taken to the drink.
The devil, last night a nasty flea woke me, and me with only the hook on me scratching hand. And to add to me worries, imagine last summer I had worms.
Worms?
Yes, worms is what it was. A sudden attack in the middle of the night, again with only the one hand, and that blasted hook on the other. In me misery, I used the wrong hand. Lord, I was unable to so much as sit for 3 weeks.
Well, gentlemen, again thank you. Have a nice day.
That performance was so good that I actually pitied the guy, even though he looks and sounds like he came straight out of a SpongeBob episode. Watson, I must say, I do dislike navigating such open spaces with the precarious mouse. But as you know, my dear fellow, the perspective of the first-person variety unleashes the nastiest form of vertigo upon my person, so we must use it sparingly, if at all.
Bravo, Holmes!
This scene reminds me of, the saddest vineyard known to mankind. Listen, even though I don't love it, I can appreciate how Frogwares is always shooting for the stars. Can barely make a bugless game, but is already trying their hand at other perspectives. Ambition, I like it. We soon find the house with the anchor, but upon knocking, there is no response. There is someone in the house opposite, though.
Excuse me for disturbing you, but I'm looking for a man named Mr. Harper. Do you know him? He lives just opposite you.
He gone. Boat.
Watson, I know this accent. These people are Nepalese, and as luck would have it, I am familiar with this dialect.
Nepalese? Holmes, are you sure?
Aho Nitra. Shigong Senitra.
Nito. Bo Petro. Toro Mitro. Toka.
This woman says her family has suffered a grave misfortune. This altar is for her son, a lad of 16, who disappeared just 1 week ago.
Could he have run away to sea, or some other youthful adventure?
Il koga bratsen, but presindra kum.
Bo Petro. Toro Mitro. Ka. Waekta. Torikoto. Nito. Tro. Petro.
She said a man was seen in the area making inquiries about her son and their family. The man worked at the docks and had a silver eye. Yes, exactly. He was a vile man with one silver eye. Malinhe gas. Sundra brokat hadu.
Odaliga. Toro Mitro. Ka. Petro. Toka. Nito. Waekto Rikota.
She also says her son's belongings are on this altar. She says we may examine them and take anything that might help find her son.
But what does this have to do with Captain Stennick's servant?
Not to be too much of a Holmes would never do that snob, but Nepalese? Okay, hold on, I just changed my mind. I love that Holmes speaks Nepalese. Fits my headcanon of him investigating for poor people as thoroughly as for the rich. Knowing immigrants' languages would be much more useful for his London base of operations than knowing French, for example. We pick up this brooch from the altar. Holmes comments on its not being Nepalese, and looking like silver, but judging by the weight, it's fake. Well, Hunger Games, you got some... Wait, when were those books released? 2008? Okay, Suzanne Collins, you have some explaining to do. Back outside, we stumble upon this guy. Or rather, he stumbles upon us. But this is not just any drunk puking his guts out, as he himself explains.
What's that? You say you were forced to drink. Explain this and spare no details.
Yesterday afternoon, I was given a parcel to deliver to an address not far from here. I was near the warehouse district when a gang of young lads attacked me. Before I could think, they drew knives and gave me a bottle, telling me if I valued my life, I better drink it all. Well, let me tell you, I drank without stopping. I became giddy, and then must have passed out. I remember nothing else, except waking up a moment ago, finding myself alone. My parcel gone.
But what could they have wanted, Holmes?
It's obvious, Watson. They were seeking some poor soul on whom to test their vile concoction. Tell me, could this bottle be the one they gave you?
I can't say. It could be. I feel ill just looking at it.
It has a unique flavour. Rather tasty, I might add. There's no mistaking my senses. This contains turnips. In fact, a liberal amount.
But where are you off to, Holmes?
Watson, it is time to seek out the distillers of this unique brew. If they are located in this district, they may have much to tell us.
Oh my god. Okay, let's look for the distillers. I had to use the first person mode here. I was getting too annoyed at trying to make these two run with the mouse. We can see turnips and bottles around, so this must be the place.
So, what about it?
I am missing something.
What? Here we go, looking for whatever. Back in the pub.
Hello to you again, sir. I won't waste time. We have discovered new details that may lead us to this elusive seaman. Most significantly, the man has a missing eye and wears a silver ball in its place.
By God, that can be no other than Dirty Summers. A nasty brute, that one.
Where could one find him?
He must have signed on with a ship, because he was here last night looking to hire some men.
How did he behave while he was here?
He gave me extra to secure the private table behind that curtain. During his time here, men of all sorts came and went seeking positions. However, he seemed nervous and fearful as his knife was unsheathed and ready the whole of the night.
May I examine this table behind the curtain?
Certainly, if it will help.
Checking the table out, we can see some strange symbols carved on it, but not much else. Going back to the distillers, I realized that I'm dumb, and all I needed to do was show them the bottle with the radioactive concoction and then the brooch.
So?
I assume this is your special recipe?
That depends on who's asking. If it's the law, then I have nothing to do with this. If you're a customer, 2 shillings gets you a taste.
A fair price indeed. Unfortunately, this vintage is a bit full-bodied for my taste. But I would be very happy to recover a parcel that went missing near this very spot.
Wow, what nice bandits!
What?
One other thing. Have you seen this before?
Yes, I saw it. One of the dock workers, an odd sort, gave it to a gang member, Brannock. He wanted Brannock to join their gang, or I don't know what. Must have been nigh on 2 weeks ago. 2 days later, he went missing, and not a word since.
This man who gave your friend the pendant, can you describe him?
Not very tall, strong, wearing a red cap, and he with a hare lip. You could likely find him near Warehouse 12. He told Brannock he worked there.
Thank you. By the way, my friend the postman feels badly used. You should change the recipe.
Oh, I was sure of that. Turnips weren't near rotted enough. Maybe they need a longer soaking in the gutter water. Now, off with a pair of you.
Yeah, just one issue. Where the fuck is Warehouse 12? Oh, the parcel. Yeah, right, I completely forgot. Turns out that it's that guy's hand. Now he doesn't need the hook anymore, so we can take it, tie it to a rope, and boom, we got a grappling hook. I'd argue that it would be better to just go around with a stump rather than having the hook, especially after those stories he told. But hey, I guess the stump isn't really good for the Seaman rap. So now we walk around until we find Warehouse 12, and the door is locked. But the window is broken here, so...
The window is closed and the front door is barred. You must gain entry, but how?
But why in blazes are we breaking in? Our homes?
I swear, the design choice of you need both perspectives to be able to play this game is baffling. Anyways, now we... okay, we're controlling Watson. Do we have to climb the rope? No? Oh, okay, we have to help Holmes with the lock. And voila, we're in. Here we can see quite a few of these peculiarly shaped boxes. Opening the first one, we find sails. Inspecting this mess more closely, we can see a bloody hat pin and a passport. issued for one Amos Colby, American, and there's this drawing on one of the pages.
This drawing on the back of this page, it resembles some vision of a demon, and... Good God, Holmes! It was drawn with blood!
You have a very active imagination, Watson. And here we have the return of the...
Blood!
Opening this other crate...
Someone has emptied these cases of sailcloth to hold something very different, but still suited to their particular form.
Oh, my God, Holmes, you do not mean that all these crates are better called coffins?
Yes. No further explanation? How did you reach that conclusion, Holmes? Guess we'll have to wait for the 15-minute cutscene at the end. From here, we grab a lantern. Thanks, game. The game giving you a lantern and the game giving you the press shift to run pop-up are like brothers in arms. Over yonder, we have a puzzle that I actually like. I mean, it's Frogwares, so of course it isn't perfect, but hey, I like it. We have this suspended cauldron we can fill with water here and then push it over there. We can then tie this rope that's just here to the cauldron, and then the other end to the trapdoor here, and then we can cut the other rope, the one that was originally supporting the cauldron, and...
Bravo, Holmes!
Only thing I think could be done better is actually having an icon showing that we're holding the rope, because as it is, we get one sound effect and that's it. So let's go down the scary trapdoor in the scary warehouse, shall we? Okay, why are we in a temple? Going through this gate here, we enter an ample chamber. Actually, maybe not that ample. Mattresses litter the floor, but there are no people inside. And in braziers, we find more of these opium meatballs. To the side here, there's a box full of the pelican pendants, just like the one we got in the Nepalese house. Holmes seems to think that they're just pretty decoys. Further ahead, we can see a table full of opiates, and one of the metal boxes still has the label. It's a black Edelweiss flower. And...
What a horror!
Girl, what? This game deals with like an actual real cult to Cthulhu? We even got a mini statue as a souvenir? Also props to Frogwares. Even with the graphical limitations, this corpse looks gnarly. We can examine this poor man's hands. The left thumb has a small wound, which could have been made with a hat pin. Yes, we found the author of that demonic drawing. To the sides here, there's a message in a language Holmes doesn't recognize. We must make a copy of it for further analysis. Okay, so I picked up a piece of coal earlier. Maybe there's a piece of paper here somewhere. Ooh, here! They're leaflets for the Northwood Agency. Any manner of discreet investigations. And a bit to the side, there's this peculiar drawing. Checking the man's right index finger, it's dirty with dust, which means that he's most likely also the person who drew that X plus thing. We make a copy of the mysterious message with the good old charcoal impression method, and Holmes gives us some insight into his theory.
This unfortunate man must have interrupted the kidnappers while they were transferring their victims.
What are you speaking about?
All of the kidnapped people were kept here, and from the look of things, for some days. There must have been a good number of them, so they were drugged to keep them docile. Then, with the vile assistance of riffraff hired by Dirty Summers, they loaded these people into the missing cases from the warehouse. Last night, these poor unfortunates were loaded onto a waiting ship, their destination as yet unknown.
Oh my God! Holmes! Look!
Let's leave this place, Watson. We can do nothing here.
Wait. I don't know if I've made it clear, but I'm going into these games blind. If they're based off of any particular pastiche, I haven't read them. So I'm like, are we actually gonna get a Holmes investigating the supernatural story? Like, actually, not just big dog covered in phosphorus. Like, is this actually supernatural? Plus the choice of Cthulhu. I absolutely love when people merge classics from the same era. Anyways, continuing, we're back in Baker Street, and Holmes is sending the mysterious message to his brother, Mycroft, at the Diogenes Club. You know, after a lot of consideration, I think I know why our good friends are child-sized in this game. I'm not gonna go super into detail here, but for a number of reasons, doors in video games are huge. Makes navigation smoother, more space for the camera to move without getting stuck, etc, etc. Keyword being camera. As we all know, in a point-and-click game, you generally don't have that moving camera, so you can't just make the doors normal sized. The problem here is that Frogwares designed the Awakened to be played in first person, apparently. But like, you spawn in point-and-click mode, you know what I'm saying? I don't think I'll ever understand what goes on in their brains. Plus, all the cutscenes are in-engine, and sometimes they aren't careful with where the characters are placed, so we end up with goofy shit like this. Honestly, feels like they noticed halfway that, the designs here don't really work together, but, fuck it, we can fix it in the next one. I'm kinda like that. Like, fuck it with all. Maybe I should be kinder to Frogwares, and then I'd be kinder to myself. Nah. Anyways, on to our humble lab. So we wanna figure out what's in that black Edelweiss box. And look, it's the same compound we found in that meatball in Bulpa's hut.
How goes it, Holmes? What is the result of your analysis?
Without question, this is clearly a derivative of opiate. Something still troubles me, though. The facts indicate this substance must have been used in large quantities. But no English druggist could provide such an amount, far too risky, and I do not believe British customs would allow such a large quantity to pass through unremarked.
Well, I am convinced of quite the opposite, Holmes.
How can that be, Watson? Explain your reasoning.
Please remember that as a doctor, I am accustomed to the use of various compounds, including powerful derivatives such as distilled opiates. Those imported from the continent enjoy a special status with British customs, who do not bother the shipments and take little note of the quantities inside. Such shipments are easily identified by their labels. They always bear the identifying mark of the particular medical academy within that country which has an agreement with our own governing academy. Though I can't determine the precise country of origin, I would swear the label scrap left on this crate is one such as this.
Doctor, I will never get to the end of your possibilities. You have solved this little riddle for us. Quickly, and waste no time, we must get ourselves to the custom inspector's office at the harbour.
What, now? Can't it wait for our tea? Oh, coming, Holmes.
Oh my god, Watson actually being useful, we love to see it. Also love to see their old married couple antics. We look for the customs agent, but there's no one around. This dock area could really use some NPCs. Like, you added them to Baker Street and then just forgot to continue? We find this note, whatever. Ooh, okay, ledger. Blah blah blah. Warehouse 16. Let's go. General strike. God damn it. Well, let's take a look at these footprints. Ooh, a key. Someone actually just left this here. And we can see the right shoe with the missing nail amongst the chaos. And then those footprints actually continue past the cluster in front of Warehouse 16. Following them, we can use the key to open this set of doors, where we find a better example of the Black Edelweiss label. Back to Baker Street, Mycroft has gotten back to us. Sherlock. The Northwood Agency is based in Boston, Massachusetts, America. They engage in a wide variety of confidential investigations, but generally, they are regarded as specialists in international searches for missing people or works of art. They have a solid reputation, built upon an outstanding record of successful results. Amos Colby was employed in Europe as one of their operatives, and he corresponds to the description you gave. Unfortunately, the details of his last case were confidential, as for now. I have included an approximate translation of the characters that you discovered, though it is rough and I must admit, rather enigmatic. Sincerely yours, Mycroft. That your grubs go through the ether, stars like maggots in the fruit. Wait for your awakening to honor you. Light of Abyss. He is the one that you chose to show us the beauty of deep blackness. Light of Abyss. He is the one who carries your mark on the body. He became one of yours. Light of Abyss. For his cold depths answer, and we shall answer in your name. Light of Abyss. His body is seaweed. His body is octopus. His voice is your voice. Let the dream and the return of the great be fulfilled.
So, the poor devil who lay under this warehouse was indeed the owner of the passport embellished with the drawing made in blood. His thumb was gashed. He is most assuredly the one who made the drawing during his captivity. But what brought him to this place? Furthermore, if this detective agency has any standing, it rests on the reputation of its associates. They are rightly regarded as proven professionals. Therefore, this dying man's last efforts were to leave clues for those who might come after him. Remember, Watson, this man's forefinger was also coated with dust, and we found drawing drawn in that very same dust upon the floor.
Exactly, Holmes. An addition symbol was there, placed within a rectangle.
Let us consider the facts, Watson. A number of people were taken by force underneath Warehouse 12, drugged, and then transferred in boxes by ship to some as of yet unknown destination. For the moment, London has nothing more to tell us. These people, whoever they are, have a small advantage. We should give them no more. We must make our departure, but to what destination? Wait, Watson! I have a sudden thought. What do an Edelweiss and a rectangle containing an addition symbol signify to you?
Wait, I know this one. It's Switzerland. I'm not as stupid as I myself make it out to be.
Switzerland, of course. Watson, we shall divide our tasks. I shall report the particulars of Mr. Colby's death, as this affair requires the utmost in tact and discretion.
Well, I never. Thank you, I am sure.
Watson, you know I'm impersonal, each man to his specialty. I rely on you to book passage for 2 to the continent immediately. And, Watson, see what you can learn of an institute called the Black Edelweiss and determine if it is located in Switzerland. If this place can be found, I believe it holds the answers that we seek. Now, hurry, man, the game is on.
Hold on, Holmes, you are reading some penny dreadful. Here I thought to find you deep in some ancient news clippings, seeking similarities with our case, and yet you waste your time reading some outlandish adventure based upon some improbable hero.
Beware of considering popular literature as unworthy of our interest, Watson. Besides, am I not myself considered by some of your readers as an improbable hero living out outlandish adventures?
Holmes, you go too far.
Let's not speak on this, Watson.
This horrible statuette gives my nerves a shake, Holmes. This trip to Switzerland, it brings back unpleasant associations, doesn't it?
Watson, those events should remain where they belong, in the past. However, I will not be joining you in Switzerland. When the train arrives in Lyon, I'm afraid we must part company, as I have business elsewhere that will take some time.
But Holmes...
As a doctor, your impeccable credentials will allow you to ably advance our investigation at the Black Edelweiss Institute. My presence would likely only arouse suspicion and harm our cause. I am writing the name of a Swiss policeman on this piece of paper. He is stationed at the village near the Institute and is a most reliable and capable man. Turn to him should you entertain even the slightest suspicions during your visit.
And you, Holmes?
As for me, Watson, I will investigate this case from the other side. Keep your wits about you, Watson. Should you witness anything out of the ordinary, no matter how trifling it seems, go immediately to the valley and ask for Superintendent Bilger. I know him. He's a trustworthy fellow and has been informed of your presence in his district. He should prove to be an able ally.
Well, here we are, the Edelweiss Institute. We introduce ourselves and are let in, and we see that that lady in orange from London is here too, visiting her daughter. I don't know if this is plot relevant or what passes for a bustling, realistic world of NPCs just living their lives in the mind of Frogwares, but hey, she's here! And now we meet Dr. Gygax, who has a very familiar face for some reason. Like, I don't mean in-game, Frogwares familiar, I mean IRL live familiar, but anyways. Watson's excuse is that he wants to compare the Institute's treatments to the ones found in London, and Gygax is like, very well, but that could have been achieved through letters. My time is precious, and so is yours, Dr. Watson, so tell me, what brought you personally to the Edelweiss Institute? Damn, he's clever. Watson starts stringing an excuse together about meeting a former patient of theirs, but then...
Actions suggested that he was suffering from such disorders as...
Good morning, I am Amos Colby from the Northwood Agency of Boston, Massachusetts.
Is something wrong, Doctor?
Upon my word, this man who claims to be from the Northwood Agency is an obvious fraud. The true Amos Colby died and was buried just a few days ago in London. I must now tell you everything. I am here because one of your staff has engaged in a dangerous trade between this institution and parties in England. Moreover, those activities are tied to a murderous sect, which...
And you think that this man could be one of them?
Indeed. It is entirely within reason that he is here to eliminate any traces of their criminal enterprise, if you see my meaning.
Indeed I do, Doctor. Let me show you out.
I trust that...
Please return at this same time tomorrow, and I promise I will be entirely at your disposal. But I entreat you, please maintain complete discretion on these matters. May I depend on your cooperation?
Most assuredly, but...
Watson, we can always count on your frankness. The fake Amos is taken to this room, and then we're playing as him?
I need something.
Holmes! So all went according to plan. And I mean, how could it not? Holmes knows Watson like the back of his hand. We fill the syringe here with water so that the doctor can't knock us out. And just like that, we're in the asylum inside a holding cell. Here we grab this bucket and spoon, and then place this jug and rolled up mattress on our own. Top it off with a hat and coat, and boom, looks like we're still there. Now onto the locked cell door. Well, the closest thing we got to a lockpick right now is a spoon, so let's see. This is an interesting puzzle actually. We have to put the numbers in order, but the catch is that when moving them around the other rows here, they also have to be in order. So for example, you can't just move the 10 to the top row and then put the 3 right next to it. It has to be 10, 9, 8... Anyways, we're out, and right away, this door to our left is locked. To the right, there's this passage that leads up to the room where we got the shot. Better not go back up there for now. Continuing to the right, there's a very promising corridor.
I must hide and avoid the nurse, else he will raise an alarm, and I must find some means of neutralizing him. Perhaps I could put him to sleep somehow.
Okay, back, never mind. Strolling down the corridor, we meet Maurizio, and he tells us that he'll scream and bring the entire hospital down here if we don't free him. Okay bro, calm down. Where's the key? He tells us that there's a crowbar in the repairman's storage room. Go, go, go! In here, we indeed find a crowbar. An anvil, which we obviously take. This measuring thingy, and here there are 4 pipes, which we can't take unless we measure them and know what we're doing. Holmes, you just picked up an anvil! What do you mean you can't pick up the pipes? Opposite to the storage, there's a seemingly irrelevant door and a locked one. Taking the crowbar to Maurizio, he is now free! Yeah, good luck with that. Good news is, he seems to have drawn attention upstairs, so now we can go back into that room. Trying to leave into the corridor, Holmes is like, better not, they'll probably spot me immediately. There's a wardrobe here, but it's locked. And, ooh, keys! None of them are the wardrobes, but they do open the door to the left of our cell though. Here we get yet another locked door, and can try to talk to Gerda here. She refuses to talk to us, saying that she misses Heidi. I mean, I remember seeing a doll in that room with a nurse. That has to be Heidi, right? There's also a scale here, and we pick up some syringes. Turns out the nurse is kinda blind, so as long as we stay back here, there shouldn't be an issue. But when we make it back to Gerda, Holmes just says, I can't do that. Why not? I am positive that this is Heidi. I mean, whatever, maybe we have to give her some clothes to make her presentable. Who the hell knows? On to finding something else to do. Ooh, the keys we got also open the door opposite to the storage. And there are nurses patrolling the area. Back to finding something else to do. So now we can take one of the pipes. Like, okay. And also I forgot that our trusty spoon is actually the Lockpicker 3000. So we open the wardrobe and get this lab coat. Now, at least from a distance, people will think that we're a nurse. That allows us to go out in this area, where we get this ginormous cutscene about this woman low-key having a mental breakdown because this guy keeps bothering the birds. Also, getting birds that can talk for the mental asylum sure is a choice. Now, there's a guard in that other corridor, so we can't go there yet. Turns out that we can grab some knockout serum with the syringe, and then put it into the pipe we got earlier, and then... I know this is goofy, but it is actually canon compliant. The sign of the 4 in case you want sources. From the pass out guard, we grab this note. Take the remaining stones and convert them to cash. Then buy back the rest of the goods as Schneitzer asked. I want all this to be settled before my departure. Holmes recognizes the note as having been written by Gygax, but yeah, we don't know what it's referring to. And we grab some pink crystals with our bare hands. Impeccable lab etiquette there, Holmes. Ooh, over here there's a storage ledger. It's in code, so there's no way to know exactly what it refers to, but it includes Gygax's signature on every page, and here there are some details of shipments to England. And, ooh, a note! Dear Dr. Gygax, my secretary informed me that you've suspended further shipments of your order for some of our products. This is quite disturbing, since I'm pulling some very illegal shit in order to get these for you. So I'm gonna dispose of them. Best regards, F. Schmeitzer. You know, I used to think that signing off an antagonistic letter with best regards was just something used for comedic effect, until I got a breakup letter calling me full of myself that no one would ever stick with me, that I can't communicate if my life depended on it, etc. And I swear to God, it was signed off with love, Jane Doe. I mean, doesn't make it any less comical, but it's insane that people do that for real, right? And, oh my stars. Obviously, there's something here we can only see and pick up in the first person mode. Of course! Chlorine, and one of those black Edelweiss boxes. This one's still intact. We can study it in further detail once we're not in an asylum with everyone being out to get us. So, now what? Ooh, there's some water here. I mean, water. Useful, right? We'll take some with the bucket. And, oops, I mixed the pink crystals with it. What do we do with this? Okay, so turns out that we can sneak past the nurses here. We just have to not go to the left. And here we find another patient who's willing to talk to us. Ooh, but first he wants his pink crystals. Fear not, my good man, I came prepared. Becker here then tells us to make the nurses leave, and then he'll tell us anything we want. Okay, hold your horses. We brought you the crystals, so you could at least tell us where the key to the aviary is. Take the doll to the mad girl, she knows. Very, very descriptive there, but thank you. Now that we've received permission from the almighty Becker, we can finally take Heidi to Gerda. She thanks us and, after a lot of blabbering, tells us that the key to the aviary is in one of the staff's bedrooms, on the ground floor, and Heidi actually wants to thank us by giving us the key to the room. Why, thank you, my fair maiden. Let's snoop around this room now. There's some sort of crochet loom? Not loom, like... I don't know what this thing's called. From the table, we grab these glasses and this bottle with a crochet covering. And from the wall, we grab this... whatever this is. Oh wow, this bed is very small. People at Frogwares truly need to go back to the basics by training proportions. There's a shirt hanging in the wardrobe, and from it we get the key to the aviary. Okay, let's cause some chaos.
The door to the birdcage is open! Help us!
The birds have escaped! Quick! Catch them! Catch them!
Thanks to the panic, all the nurses will be elsewhere, as Bauer would say.
I love that line. This is how you write a more playful Holmes. In the corridor opposite to the one we came from, we can see this note, stating that because of the recent fire, access to the kitchen would be heavily restricted. There's a lady singing and cooking in there, and Holmes notes that if we're able to create some smoke, she'll think there's a fire and leave, allowing us to investigate. We don't have anything like that right now, so back down to Becker. We got rid of the nurses for him, so maybe he has something else to tell us?
The attendant is gone.
Ah, I'm very glad. But you are not an attendant?
No, my good man, I am not. I arrived from London to investigate private charges of embezzlement against this establishment.
But who are you?
Someone who could guarantee your freedom once my objectives are secured. But I have little time, and you must listen to me carefully. Did you hear the staff or other inmates speak on any suspicious activities other than the horrible mistreatment you have all suffered at the hands of the staff?
You are from English customs, then? You must be interested in the arrival of illegal foreign lunatics in your country.
What makes you say this?
Well, some time ago, they removed all the foreigners from their cells, and they were never seen or heard from again. Perhaps they were shipped into your country without the usual formalities?
Those foreigners, where did they come from?
I don't know exactly, because oddly, they never associated with the rest of the inmates. They arrived regularly, 1 or 2 fellows per month.
Most peculiar. Did they speak among themselves?
I could hear them trying to talk to one another, but it seemed as if they couldn't understand each other, as if each spoke a different dialect. Also, none of them seemed mad in the least. And then there was one other odd event. They were downstairs, and it was shortly before their departure. I strained to hear them, and could barely make out their conversation. This time, they all seemed to speak the same language, and what is even stranger, they seemed to be saying the same thing repeatedly.
You must rest now, but don't lose hope, as I am here to help. I am afraid I must leave you now.
If you need to know other information, you can see me when you like.
Huh. We must be dealing with a truly complex operation here. If foreigners would go to London, be shipped to Switzerland, and then who knows? Anyways, over here we have these 2 levers. They need 2 people because each controls one of the doors in this cage. Whenever one opens, the other closes. Whatever are we gonna do? So we start trying to use everything in our inventory. Maybe we can throw that crochet thing to pull the lever down? No, apparently not. Holmes doesn't have that cowboy talent in him. Well, we can hang it on the lever, but now what? Okay, this cart goes under there, fantastic. And the anvil. Okay, good. I see where you're going with this. And okay, apparently we need something else to complete this contraption. Ooh, what's this next to the knocked out nurse?
Potash, the perfect...
Well, I don't know what that is, but say no more. We grab a bit of the potash with our trusty bucket, use the scale to measure the dose, grab some water with the grandma bottle, again measure it, add chlorine, mix everything together, and boom, we've just invented the very first fog machine. Sorry. This kitchen is surprisingly bare. I would have expected a big place with loads of things to pick up, but all we get from here is this line for cooking, which is apparently called a truss, and this note. Hildegard, I found a bag still full of birdseed. If you must replace budget after my shift ends, do not forget. 3 short bells, then a long one. This will send the lift back up to the doctor's office. When it arrives at the first basement, the way up will be blocked. You will have to go down to get the dishes afterwards. See you and good luck. Gretchen. Oh wait, there's an exclamation point here for some reason. So it's Gretchen. Gretchen. But okay, 3 short, 1 long. We'll keep that in mind. So now we can use the trust to put our contraption into motion.
And there, it is done.
Well, down the creepy stairs we go. This stairs angle looks very interesting, but of course the perspective of Holmes's bride doesn't match. So down here, okay, this is where they convince the bad inmates that they're in the waiting room to hell. Here we meet this patient, Wolf, who keeps reciting math problems to himself and refuses to talk to anyone other than Professor Schwartz. Further into this dungeon, we find a door that can be opened with the trusty spoon, and oh, girl, oh no. Give me that key, let's just get out of here. Turns out that this is the key to Dr. Gygax's office. Snoop around, snoop around, snoop around. Complications. Big delay, but goods will be ready on time. Need money because no more stones. A. This came from New Orleans. My god, how much do these people travel? Does Cthulhu need well-traveled servants or sacrifices or whatever?
If the shipment of these goods from New Orleans relies upon a transfer of funds from Europe, it is possible the actual exchange won't take place for a few weeks. There may still be time to intervene.
I mean, sure, there might. But considering that we're probably dealing with crazy cultists here, I'd concentrate on taking them out, and anyone we save from death row will just be the cherry on top. By the way, there might be some dead giveaways to the direction the story is going if you're familiar with Lovecraft's work, which I'm not. I'm sorry, I tried, but his racism makes his writing outright comical. Oh my god, a person with brown eyes, that's the scariest thing I've ever seen. We then pick up a key labeled Classroom, and here there's a letter about selling jewelry. Exceeded our experts' expectations, discretion, and an accounting of the precious stones sold. Maybe this is a cover-up for selling those pink crystals, or something similar. I don't know, only way I can think of connecting this letter to the present case right now. The worship of ghouls, weird anatomical model. Send this to the Bone Museum and ask what kind of preparation is this. Why does the head look like that? Ooh, patient files. Let's see, Wolf, Wolf, Wolf. Blah blah blah, been here forever, has every mental illness, and ooh, a picture of Professor Schwartz. We already have the glasses, all we need is the beard to fool Wolf. This looks like, what, a closet? That we can't open. But we can force this other door open with this fire poker.
Oh my god!
Well, finally, exactly what you expect when you enter a mental asylum in a video game. Checking the blackboard out, we can see that the writings are in phonetics, although it's too erased for us to figure out. Seems like people were forced to recite words they didn't know the meaning of. Over here we find a research journal detailing Dr. Gygax's experiments. Let's see. Talking bird brain and human brain similar. Okay, so basically he wants to lobotomize patients, but be able to isolate the part of the brain that lets them speak. The patients could then just read out the phonetics without any understanding or consciousness of what they're saying. Why you'd want that is beyond me. wasn't one of the main reasons for lobotomy to make people quiet. But hey, it's what he was trying to do, without much success, of course. Back in the office, we force this drawer open and find some more letters detailing his selling of precious jewels, always for exorbitant prices. There are also letters showing that funds were transferred to specific bank accounts in London and New Orleans. In the drawer, there's also this cryptic letter. My master's behavior will become more uncontrollable. He will enlighten you when darkness returns. And, New Orleans needs more funds. Holmes points out that this letter has an iodine stain. I don't know what that suggests, but... Back upstairs, we open the classroom with the key we got, and here we get a fake beard. I don't know why this was just laying around the classroom, but hey, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. And yet another letter to Dr. Gygax. Blah blah blah. Essentially, there's this anonymous patient who helps with the laundry. He's being treated for amnesia, but sometimes will spontaneously write math equations on the blackboard that not even this professor comprehends, although he double-checked in textbooks and found that they are correct. He's asking for this patient to be transferred to the university so that he can maybe be stimulated by people of his intellectual caliber, and perhaps with that, regain his memories. Yeah, sorry my good man, but I don't think Gygax's gonna do shit. Well, time to mess even more with an extremely unstable mind.
So, Wolf, I see you have mastered your lesson. Splendid.
Professor Schwartz?
I congratulate you, Wolf. I cannot say the same about your other classmates. I am most unhappy with their behavior, because it seems they have been cheating.
Professor Schwartz, you saw them, didn't you? I know my lessons. I always work so hard, and the others, they crib from me.
I know, my boy, I know. But their leader, he is a doctor, isn't he?
Yes, Professor, yes. He is the most vile member of the group. Sometimes he tries to keep me from my lessons. He says he will treat me like the others who don't speak like us and who scream so very loud when he punishes them. But I keep to my lessons and recite my tables all the day. He can't stop me.
That's good, my boy. You have made me proud. Now, I need your help. Where do they meet? I must find them and make sure they get the punishment they so rightly deserve.
They meet over there, but it is well hidden and only the doctor has the code. First, he makes noise with the fire near his office. Afterwards, he makes noise with the fire in front of me. And then he makes noise behind me. You will see he does not know his lessons.
Thank you, Wolf. That's a clever boy. You have earned high marks this term, but for now you must try to recite your lessons in silence. Since I am the professor, I know and see everything. There is never a need to shout.
As you say, Professor Schwartz.
We mess with the torches in the order Wolf mentioned, and that opens this secret passageway, where we find this guru, I think?
Where are all those poor souls kidnapped in London? And what about the others who passed through here in their travels?
Your search is in vain. You are nothing to the great Lord. Soon he will heed our call, when those titans will be reassembled for the awakening of their king. The sleeping Lord shall walk the earth. You and your kind will tear your flesh when you learn how your lives insult the great Lord and Master. You will plead for the abyss, as have all those before you who fed the Great One. Those who give their weak flesh to our Lord cry for his return. So shall you. He has lain dreaming, silent, hungry, awaiting his followers. Tremble in awe. Behold, the Great One returns.
He makes so much noise. I better be on my way before he attracts the entire staff.
Well, that was helpful. Okay, so remember that note we found in the kitchen? About 3 short, 1 long? Yeah, we have to use it now. In Gygax's office, there are these 2 chains connected to bells. We pull on them following the instructions, and turns out that this is an elevator. In we go! And out into some other part of the asylum, with this isolated patient here.
Moriarty! Moriarty, my worst enemy and a man who was presumed dead. Who could think this demon could have survived such a great fall at Reichenbach? He seems a shadow of his former self. There is no doubt he has truly lost his memory and therefore cannot be a part of these events.
Find this outsider as quickly as possible and bring him to the treatment room. I shall take care of his memory.
Professor, do you hear that voice? This man who is speaking to 2 others, a man of great intellect and ability, who is approaching and is even now right behind that door. You know him, Professor. Come now, Professor. You can't have forgotten so easily. Let me remind you, Professor. I'm going to reveal his identity. I will tell you his name. You know him well, Professor. He is... Sherlock Holmes.
Stand where you are.
I do love how Holmes just keeps pitting the patients against the nurses and doctors, time and time again. Climbing up these stairs, we reach the laundry, where we go back into our Amos disguise.
It is the imposter! He is here!
I'll sort you out, buddy. Come here.
The doctor is not here.
We had internal concerns arise today. Herr Director is engaged with urgent hospital matters and cannot be disturbed.
Very well. We will take this troublesome wretch along with us. Perhaps tomorrow the doctor and I will be able to discuss our other matter. First of all, my friend, you should know that you have been dealing with 2 famous professionals. Your deceit has failed, and you should know that it is impossible to confound us. Who are you, and why have you come here?
What is your opinion, Watson?
Holmes! But what are you doing here? And you are as white as a sheet. It seems as though you met a ghost.
It's quite possible, Watson. Quite possible.
You should have told me about your plans, Holmes.
Definitely not, Watson. You would have acted in an unnatural manner and done everything to persuade me against my course of action.
You can be sure of that. Good God, Holmes, think of the risk you took.
Indeed, Watson, and I hesitate to reveal my further plans. They are likely to be far more dangerous.
Will you explain?
Even though I know the crux of this affair began in Europe and even perhaps in England, we have no elements indicating the when, the where, and the how. Our only lead would have us travel to a continent not our own, one that is wild and untamed in many ways. I assume that you now know the name of our next destination.
For some reason, the game doesn't accept the answer America here. I mean, really, Holmes, you're the one who spoke of a continent. Yes, yes, we must go to New Orleans and disguise our identity, secret mission, blah blah, of course. Then there's this kid who's very suspicious, but he was just trying to get this box open. His mom arrives and, you know what? I'm not sure that woman in London and the one in the asylum are the same person. Like, maybe they are, because though this one is the same model, she has a green dress to show that she's different. While the other ones both had an orange dress. But yeah, I don't know, maybe it was just Frogwares reusing assets. Well, in the blink of an eye, here we are, the new world. I really like how this looks. It's much more detailed than other open spaces we've seen. I mean, it's not exactly deeply immersive and atmospheric, but Frogwares is trying at the very least. We head to the bank to get some USDs, but...
One more step, and your brains will be about as useful as gator bait.
The continent welcomes us with such hospitality, doesn't it?
Beg pardon, my good man. Is the bank closed for some time?
As long as it takes Mr. Blackman to come back from Baton Rouge with more dollars.
You were robbed?
Not hardly. We had a jewel sale.
When might one expect Mr. Blackman to return?
He likely could come back most any day, but he'll be gone 3 days at the least.
Is there anyone else who could shed some light on this transaction? You see, we have come from Europe and are interested in a particular set of precious stones. It may well prove to be this same set your bank sold recently.
I ain't talking, and I don't know nothing about it anyhow.
Jewel sale, you say? Let's explore the city, I guess. I mean, what else is there to do? Go through this gate, and then through here, and here. Why did Frogwares decide to make this long-ass harbor area with no one to talk to and nothing to pick up? Your guess is as good as mine. Oh, finally, we're out. Maybe we can get something to drink at the saloon. And nope, it's not open. Nothing to pick up. Maybe around these houses or like, and then there are these dogs. Maybe there's something at the ships. There's a brothel ship we can't enter and we can't go back into our own. Nothing on the streets either. Okay, walkthrough time. It's saying that there should be a man throwing a knife at a barrel with the dogs here, and we have to talk to him. Did he just fail to spawn? Fine, save file transplant time. Okay, I don't think we can just jump into this. Let's look for some context on YouTube.
There is one feller. Goes by the name of Champagne.
Oh! Oops, it wasn't Frogwares' fault this time. My bad. We bribe the guy guarding the bank, and he tells us that Champagne can probably help us. He knows everything that happens around these parts. Of course, Champagne won't just talk to us just like that. We slip some bills into his hand and find some interesting stuff out.
Speaking of that, it come to me true. Was a week ago, maybe 2. A butler working for a rich man made himself a jewel trade to honor and co. Looks like business to be done fast and with a quiet way. By my foot, the truth is here now.
The name of the employer of this silent partner?
He go by the name Honestson. He from far up the bayou into the east. He got some crazy notions, that'n. They must be all like that where he come from.
No doubt. One other matter. During the last few days, have you noticed any strange ship movements, especially regarding those taking leave of port late at night?
You did right by old Champagne, so I tell you true. 5 days ago, a ship, she weigh anchor in the middle of the night. She took sail right after a mess of folks brought a lot of boats to meet her and charged on board. These all came from the swamps, could be toting contraband. Anyway, left for the old world for sure. Old Champagne keeps to his own self. No reason to know nothing more. And advice to you, stay clear. Those that sticks their nose where it don't belong end up feeding the gators round these parts.
We shall consider ourselves duly warned. Good day.
And if you wants to go for a ride in the bayou or something else, old Champagne treats you right. I take dollars, bottles, you know what, right?
I just love Champagne for some reason. Like, these types of guys are always around in point-and-click games. It's just a very natural way to set up some fetch quests and puzzles. But Champagne is just different, I guess. Maybe I just like his voice. It's very soothing in a way. Anyways. And then we are robbed. And we find out exactly why Frogwares made such a big warehouse. We have to chase the thief. Now, I thought that the chase couldn't be that long. I can handle about 15 minutes of uninterrupted first-person gameplay on a good day, before the great evil nausea hits. So I thought that it would probably be easier to follow the thief in first-person mode. This was a mistake. Turns out that it wasn't a good day. So after 4 minutes, I had to have nausea medication and play Life Eater for a while. Okay, now that I feel kinda okay again, back to the chase. But not in first person whenever I can help it. Luckily this isn't timed, so you can just take a leisure stroll towards the thief. And like, this chase is long. It's around 13 minutes in total. Yes, that's considering my strolling pace after the evil nausea, but still. I guess someone with no motion sickness problems would complete it in like 7 or 8 minutes maybe. That's very much an insanely long chase. And the places we ran past aren't bad looking. They look just like other places we've been to in terms of quality and details. And we never visit them again. Frogwares was just splurging while developing the Awakened, I guess. Eventually, after a lot of running...
Stop right there, you two. Not a move.
But the thief, he is going to...
Thief? What thief? All I see are two foreigners tearing up my wharf, making a lot of noise. I expect you have some sort of papers proving who you are and what business you have in my parish. I assume you have proof you're here legally.
What? Of course we have papers in our bag. But that villain, he... Well, upon my word, you allowed him to make off with our bag.
What are you insinuating, sir? Are you trying to offend me?
Gentlemen, look here. Calm down, Watson.
But can't you see that...
Watson? So you are Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson.
Please, spare us the pretense. You know very well who we are.
And a clever fella in the bargain. Listen to me and listen up good, Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson. You will leave tomorrow morning for Europe on the same ship that brought you here. No need to offload your bags. Just turn around and get back on board. Nothing good'll come your way if you ignore my advice. Oh, and one more thing. Without proper papers, you're nothing more than outlaws here in New Orleans. And outlaws end up as gator bait in my parish.
Okay, Mr. Short Man Syndrome. We're obviously not running away. We're gonna see that arson man. We walk to the rich district and eventually find Arson's house and ring the bell, but it seems like no one's home. But then this young lady starts to shyly make her way to us.
Good morning, miss. Please don't be alarmed. We won't harm you, my dear. What is your name?
Eula, sir.
Lovely. When we arrived here, you were looking through this gate. This is the residence of Mr. Arnson, isn't it? Do you know him?
Yes, sir.
Do you know if he is at home?
Don't rightly know, sir.
Watson.
Come now, don't distress yourself like this. Why all these tears?
Because of my little brother, Davy. He serves with Mr. Arneson, and been more than 5 days since I heard from him.
Perhaps he went on a trip with Mr. Arnson.
No, sir. Tain't likely. I serves at the Gallagher's just the other side of the road. If they had left, I would have seen them. Something bad has happened. I can feel it.
But if you were so near, surely your brother would have cried out for help if there had been any real danger.
No, sir. Davy, he ain't like you and me. He's right smart in some ways, but Davy can't talk. Not a word. Besides, most evenings, we visits and sees each other across the stable door, and been more than 5 days since he been there. Oh, sir, I be mighty scared. Something has happened to him. I just knows it.
Miss, take us to this stable. Watson, I think this place is indeed isolated, and therefore quite vulnerable.
There it be. I'm gonna go wait on the road. That way, if my mistress calls for me, I can hear.
We let ourselves into the stable and immediately see the horse here. It's dying of thirst. We have to help it. Luckily, the stable gate that leads into the property isn't locked, and we find ourselves in a well-taken-care-of garden, with a variety of flowers on display. While rounding the house, trying to find a way in, there's a cutscene where we see a raccoon. And that's it? I don't think this random raccoon is gonna have anything to do with the mystery, but hey. Note the water fountain, but we don't have a bucket or anything yet. There's a path leading away from the house, and we can see footsteps, blood, and marks that indicate that something or someone was dragged through here. We can't follow this lead though, since the path is blocked by a swarm of mosquitoes. Back we go, and we can pick some flowers?
This should prove useful.
Okay, Holmes, whatever you say. Turns out that the back door is open, and the duo comments on the smell. It's the stench of death. We enter the kitchen, which already shows signs of disarray. Ooh, a basin! Quick, bring water to the horsey.
Easy now, fellow. Drink up.
Oh my god, and to top it off, the poor thing was lying on a hammer. Let's take this away so you don't hurt yourself anymore. Yes, I actually stayed and watched until the horse got up again. Anyways, back to Holmes. There's a ham here, but we can't take it? Holmes, you were carrying an anvil earlier today. Shut the fuck up. Further into the house.
Watson, what do you make of this?
What a horrific sight. It has lain here for at least a week.
On the contrary, Watson, once again you see, but fail to observe. The warmth of the local climate and the exceptional humidity undoubtedly sped up the rate of decomposition. Based upon my calculations, the body has been here for 5 days.
Let's see what we can find around here. Someone who sat at the table here really liked cigars. Judging by the hands of the deceased, this guy was the gardener. I thought that Holmes was gonna comment on how something really heavy must have fallen on his pinky to leave that mark, but he doesn't say anything. On the wall there's a painting of Arsenal himself. He appears fond of cigars. This investigating shit's easy. In the fireplace we can see the remnants of burnt documents, but there's nothing left aside from carbonized paper. Outside the sitting room, there's blood on the floor, and this door seems blocked, but not locked. Holmes tries to convince the person on the other side to open up, but there's no response. Further down the corridor, more footsteps.
What's this? Someone placed their hand near this footstep. Judging by the size of the fingers, it seems to be a youth. Why would they lean down here? Of course, to pick something up.
Entering this room, there's a Kabbalah poster here. I don't know the first thing about Kabbalah, but ooh, spooky occult stuff! Okay, this is Editing Live, and I just zoomed into this Kabbalah poster, and I'm pretty sure the person who made this poster was probably planning on a puzzle with this code, because this is not a Kabbalah code. I know I said I don't know the first thing about Kabbalah, but I learned this code on those BFF books, those things that are marketed towards preteens, and then they teach you secret codes to pass notes back and forth with your bestie. I learned this code there. And if you don't know it, it's this. I'm gonna show it on the screen. It's stupid easy, and it's not occult at all. So I'm really curious about that lost puzzle. But anyways, this is just something I noticed. Back to the video. We notice that we can move the bed, and under a loose floorboard we find a ruby. Considering the decor around here, I don't think this is a simple employee stealing from employer situation. Upstairs, one of the doors is locked, but the other one leads to a study. On the desk, we find a letter. Blah blah blah. Basically, Illa's brother has the physical ability to speak, so his nonverbality is psychological in nature. He also seems to be a child prodigy with numbers. Okay, good autism rap. On the bookshelf, we find a book on the fauna and flora of Louisiana, and it tells us that we can use lemon juice as a mosquito repellent. And there's also a page on raccoons. Okay, we're gonna have to give that ham to the raccoon, just you wait. There's also a book about a hunter who was hired to kill a beast that would abduct women and kill men. He unfortunately disappeared in the swamp after shots were heard, but the strange occurrences also stopped. Months went by, and they found him again, with strange scars all over his body. For the remainder of his life, he only ate raw fish, claiming that he had been saved and blah 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 cult shit. Further into the room, we find this box, which contains a tube. I don't know what you're for, but into the pocket you go. Then there's this math problem. We'll think about you later, maybe. This door at the end of the room leads to a balcony. And look! A lemon tree! We're gonna be able to move past the mosquitoes now. Yeah, there's another door that leads to that locked room, but it is also locked. As for the lemons, there's no option to grab one lemon, and trying to walk past the swarm while toting the whole tree doesn't work. So, back to investigating the house.
This should prove useful.
Whatever you say, Holmes. Ooh, a bottle of champagne for champagne! Okay, so here we're only missing a few ground clues, so we basically just follow the footsteps and the blood in first person mode, clicking everything, until eventually...
More traces of mud. A person wearing shoes thick with fresh mud entered the garden by this gate. They entered the house and then returned, dragging a body back along the way. This erased some signs of their former movements, but not entirely. Fortunately, I have a particular talent for tracing footsteps. A neglected art indeed.
Holmes! Here!
Yeah, this has to do with that clock puzzle. I looked it up, I have no idea. I failed math 8 years in a row and still graduated.
Does this look like a guy that went to college?
From here we get a key, and... it's just an air gun. Let's go see what's behind that other door.
Watson, that shouting! Something is happening!
This must have come from the stables, Holmes.
It's good that Holmes said that it came from the stables, because I would have thought that she had just found the body downstairs and would have just continued with my new room sweep. Anyways, to the rescue!
Watson, tend to her.
Holmes, hold on. There is a message pinned to this unhappy woman.
Do you think that in this city the life of one English detective is worth much more than that of a black maidservant? Final warning, Mr. Holmes. Yeah, sure, go buy yourself a croissant. Watson must see to his doctor duties, so we're left to explore on our own for a while. Back to the new room. Now that we can actually look around us, we can see that it's a trophy room put together by someone who has more money than taste. There's this painting, and when we put the metal tube on this table, I guess it works as a mirror, with the inscription, "Only the best gunmen earn the finest arms." Ooh, a horn! And a goat head missing one. Let's see.
This Anson has a good sense of humour. He and this girl should be very close. Perhaps she has some information.
My best trophy. How romantic. Walking around the room, we step on some sort of switch, which makes a noise come from the big reptile painting. We finally use the lemon tree as a weight here. Press a button in the B side and that opens the secret door. Couldn't you have used anything else as a weight here? We have access to both the lemon tree and the book saying that it works as a mosquito repellent, but then can't use it. Of course, games are always full of you have to talk to this person to progress. Because imagining the IRL counterpart of this place, there would be more people around. So, for example, how would we know to talk to Old Champagne specifically if we didn't bribe the guard? Okay, that's believable if we imagine that this is a real place. This one is not. It's such an easy fix also. I can think of 37 solutions. The simplest of which being scrap the book page on mosquitoes and have Eula tell us that lemon juice is mosquito repellent when she's feeling better. Anyways, it's just very stupid game design. Don't look at me like that, Frogwares. On a brighter note, the Holmes door's proportions are looking much better. Most of the time. Well, in the secret room, we can see the gun cabinet. Locked, of course. A note. Yay, reading, am I right? Ashman trying to meet and my friends. Chinese, Indians, Africa. He says that he intends to teach them and they may find other work, but where? Colin heard them speak to a stranger at the gate. Search for Old Sam's Racks, pass in front of the Demon Rock, take a left in front of the jellyfish, they will not be hungry that night. Sing high the call with strength, so they will know you. A fisherman told me that he was often alone in the swamp, that's why he's such a nice appearance. There is something of great importance hidden in the swamp. I should have not spoken to the sheriff, since then Ashmat has become distant and wary. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so we're gonna go into the swamp eventually. So, yay, fantastic. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And there's this picture of my best trophy, and whatever. Frogwares' Holmes has Raven's visions, and I think we're all better off for it. Lastly, a letter from the Northwood Agency. Northwood Agency, Boston, August 25th, 1894. Dear Sir, it was with great surprise and interest that I received your letter. It would seem the link between your employee and the affair which commands us is not accidental. First of all, before answering your questions, I must implore you to avoid any risk in the steps you take to assist us. The greater the sums involved, the less scruples criminals maintain. Such men are incapable of pity and are most ruthless. And as you know, according to our client, the amount involved is considerable. I contacted our client and submitted your proposal, which she accepted unconditionally. As you already know, the restitution of the stolen goods is not our only goal. Our agency would add a substantial bonus to the authorized sum, should your efforts prove to be the deciding factor in the resolution of this case. Unfortunately, the agent in charge of this case, whom you have met, is presently in Europe. Rest assured, he will contact you immediately upon his return. If anything of importance occurs in the meantime, please contact me directly without delay. Sincerely yours, E. Spears, Director of the Northwood Agency. Okay, the mystery has gotten to that point of convoluted where I just need to watch that final 20-minute cutscene to piece everything together. Going downstairs...
Perhaps it is time to take care of this young man.
Back to the stables, Eula seems to be okay. In the broadest sense of the word.
How is she, Watson?
It will be difficult for her to speak for some time. She had a narrow escape.
Can she walk?
Yes, but why?
Come with me. Your brother is behind this door, miss. He is wounded, but only superficially. It is extremely urgent that he opens this door. Can you call to him? Perhaps it will draw him out.
David. David.
Young man, I know that you can hear and understand me. We are here at the request of your sister, who is with us now. She is very worried about you, and rightly so. The man with me is a doctor. He is going to look at your wound and ease your suffering. Please come out. Everything will be all right.
Open the door, Davy. These gentlemen talk true. Come on now. Open up the door for Eula.
Miss, you should go and get some food for your brother. He must be very hungry. Have you finished, Watson?
Well, yes.
Very well. Please understand, my young lad, and you too, Miss Eula. We are here to solve an affair that risks many people's lives. Furthermore, we have very short time to save them. As for you, young man, you know some very important things. You must tell us everything and leave nothing out.
But what are you going...
Listen to me. I will tell you a story. Davy, 5 days ago, at night, you were woken up by noises from the dining room. First, you heard the voice of the gardener, and then a loud blow to the floor. You got up and took the candle, which was lit. Then you went to the dining room. On your way, you found something on the floor and picked it up. It was likely a piece of paper. Afterwards, you went to the door of the dining room and saw the dead body of Colin the gardener soaking in a pool of blood. You also saw Ashmat, the other servant, dragging Mr. Arnson, who seemed dead, towards the door. Ashmat saw you, struck at you with his knife, and caught you in the arm. Seeing that this blow had not killed you, he raised his knife to strike again and eliminate the only witness to his heinous crime. But something stayed his hand. The item you picked up was far more important. He paused to snatch it up, giving you time to run away and barricade yourself in your room.
But if you were there, why didn't you do anything?
Mr. Holmes was not there, miss. But if he tells you that things have happened in such a way, you should believe him without any doubt.
Then you are a kind of hoodoo man.
In some way.
David, do this man tell it true? Is this what happened? The good man saved us both. Do what he tells you, Davy.
Listen to your sister, young man. Now, Davy, can you recall what was on that piece of paper? Think hard now. Watson, your notebook. Be attentive to everything he draws and copy it down exactly.
Holmes, can we trust these figures and make sense of them? I mean to say, consider this boy's affliction.
Ah, this boy. A strange one, isn't he? Watson, let's escort him and his sister to her employer.
This be the Gallagher's place. Thanks, misters.
Miss Euler, we should be thanking you. Now, take good care of your brother. Watson, we must move quickly. The enemy is close at hand, and there's another place we've yet to examine.
And finally, we grab a lemon from the lemon tree, cut it in half, and proceed past the evil cloud. Well, what do we have here? Honestly, from here, looks like someone dropped a watermelon on the floor.
There are signs of a struggle here. Perhaps Arnson regained his senses and fought back. Blood, and in large quantities. This bush has been stripped of its lower leaves and slightly uprooted. Someone grabbed hold of the brambles and refused to let go. His adversary, unable to get him down due to the man's tight grasp, must have cut off his hand. I would say his right.
What a horror!
Rather, and quite determined.
Oh damn. And this path ends in a dock. Seems like all paths lead to the bayou. Leaving the house, the sheriff's trio is waiting to ambush us, but we successfully run away to the port. We now try to go talk to Arson's girl, but her mistress is like, no, pay up. Damn, let's go see what champagne can do for us.
Will this cover the cost of a boat?
It been kept in a bad way. My foot, it warm now for sure. All this'll get you them planks from the woodpile round there.
And one of your lanterns.
Sold.
What do you expect to do with this, Holmes? Build a raft?
Wow, you're a cheapo. Still like you though. Well, we have planks, nails, and a hammer. Let's see what exactly Holmes wants to put together. A letter? Okay, useful, though I don't know what for exactly. Oh wait, I have an idea.
No, madam. We came to give this bouquet to one of your boarders. You know who I'm talking about. We have something very important to say to her.
So basically, her name's Lucy, and she's like, oh my god, what happened to my dearest? And Holmes is like, miss, he's in grave danger. You must tell me everything you know about him. And Lucy's like, we were gonna be married in the autumn. He was gonna pay my mistress for all her expenses with me. Oh, and he would open his gun cabinet with the signet ring he kept on his right hand. And there's money in there as well. Thank you, miss. We'll bring him back to you. If he's still alive, that is. Now, back to Arson's house to find his hand?
Would you be so kind as to explain to me why we are coming back with these wood planks?
We are searching for a signet ring, Watson.
And how do these planks help us find it?
We must recover the hand that wears it, so we must find a way to lure its finder.
But whom are you talking about, Holmes?
The facts speak for themselves, Watson. The key that unlocks Anson's cupboard is the signet ring he customarily wears on his right hand. There was the very same severed by one of his kidnappers when the poor man clung to the bush we saw on the way to the bayou. It so happens that raccoons are attracted by carrion and also are quite taken by shiny objects. No doubt one has made off with our missing hand and its ring. I noticed their tracks nearby, and no doubt they have a nest in this area. Find the raccoons and we find our hand.
As you put it, it seems quite obvious, Holmes.
It's simplicity itself. But now we need to place some bait so the little fellow will come out and take us back to his den.
Ah, finally, it's ham time. We put it down on the ground here and wait. The raccoon eventually appears, taking the piece of ham back to its nest, which we can see is up in the roof, directly above the balcony. With the help of the ladder, we reach it, and...
Excuse me, madam, I'm merely passing by with no wish to disturb you, although I'm sure you found Mr. Anson to be a man of good taste.
I absolutely love when Holmes is depicted as unfailingly polite. I think it really fits how he approaches mysteries with an open mind. You know, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. And all that. Anyways, we got the ring.
Here's what we need to buy a boat.
Holmes, stealing is very ugly, even if it is to save the man's life. We also grab one of the rifles, which in turn I can chalk up to borrowing. And, oh no, the sheriff trio is here! We retreat using the ladder to get out via a balcony and run, once again managing to evade the short king. Hey Champagne, look what we got here. And, wait, why are you giving us directions? Aren't you gonna take us there?
Now, Watson, let's explore this swamp.
Well, guess we're navigating the swamps now. It is a marginally confusing place, but we eventually find what we're looking for.
But what is this horror, Holmes? Where have you taken us?
Near the goal, Watson, near the goal.
Holmes, quickly! They come from all sides!
Oh. Anyways, we can shoot one of the bodies down to distract the gators, and that frees the way for us. We soon reach this islet, where we find Arsenal, still alive but looking rough. A cultist soon appears to greet us, talking about how we're gonna feed the Great One and bow down before him and... There's a good fellow, Watson. One thing I want to commend Frogwares on is that the tattoos look really good on both fair and dark skin. In the middle here, there's the statue and the hollow place? Maybe... Yep. And with that, we get an evil book, a fine pastime for the journey back home. Well, I guess there's nothing else here. Let's go try and save this guy's life.
Holmes, help me to carry him to the boat. I really can't say if he will survive the voyage back.
By the devil, that'd be Arneson.
Indeed. Do you know someone who can be accommodating and tend to him?
You takes yourselves round and sees that little Lucy what lives on the boat.
I know where Lucy is. Please, help my friends to lift this poor man to the wharf, and I will go find Miss Lucy.
What can we do for you, my pretty one?
Dear madam, could you tell Lucy that we have found Mr. Anson, and tell her to hurry? This may be her last chance to see him while he still breathes.
Lucy! Lucy! Ah, here you are. This gentleman found your fella.
My God, can it be true?
Sure enough, as he say.
What have they done with you? Oh, my poor love.
He has lost his hand and is in deep shock. But with rest and tender care, he has a good chance to survive these injuries.
Oh, madam, please, please.
If I could have a moment, we found this sum of money, which is a large amount and belongs to Mr. Arnson. I think it is fair to entrust it to your care.
Well, this seems all right then.
I will take good care of you. You'll see, my love.
About Arnson's place, there was some disorder left there. If you could be a good man and set things right.
You can count on old Champagne for every little thing. Now that's a fact.
I can see our friend is in good hands. We better hurry, Watson. I see our ship is making ready to leave. Watson, I have told you several times now, I am not to be disturbed.
But Holmes, you have been locked inside your cabin for all of 4 days now. Outside, the sun is simply radiant, and the wind from the sea...
If you approach me, Watson, I will throw you out. Now, leave me.
Blast it all, Holmes. I am bored. I can't take these sailors' conversations for another minute.
We have an understanding, Watson, each to his purpose. I will look to the translation of the book. You are to study the figures written out by our young friend Davy. Now, get on with your task and leave me to mine.
But you know that these enigmas are not my strong point. Wouldn't you have some other task, which is better suited to my skills, Holmes?
Of course. You are a man of letters, after all. So, return to the bridge, take your trusted notebook, and apply your mind to editing this small writing.
Agreed. On what subject?
It is my monograph on the calculated trajectories of gull excretia. Good day, Watson.
I love these two so much. When we get to Baker Street, we find a letter from Mycroft waiting for us, updating us on what's been happening this side of the pond. The Swiss police raided the Black Edelweiss Institute and arrested Dr. Gygax, but he ate cyanide, so womp womp. Blah 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 blah. Oh, this seems interesting. It seems that Dr. Gygax had laid his hands on a goodly portion, if not the entirety, of Lord Rochester's lost treasure. You may recall the story. Lord Rochester, the infamous London billionaire, married an American woman. They had but one child, a lad, named Archibald. After the boy completed his education and achieved his majority, he traveled east to take charge of his father's interests. In addition to his holdings in England, Lord Rochester also held a number of jewel mines in India. At the end of 2 years, Archibald had accumulated a fortune in gemstones, all of the highest quality. The best of these were placed in a chest, which he took with him onto a ship bound for England. Then his fortunes turned. Neither he nor the gems ever saw land, as a dreadful storm sank the ship near the Indian coast. Only a few of the ship's crew survived. The bodies of the rest were pulled from the sea, with one notable exception. Not a trace was found of either Archibald or the famed chest. His parents were devastated, blah blah blah, and before boarding, an inventory was made of the treasure, so they're sure it's the same one that Dr. Gygax was selling. I really like how the story is being developed. It's not like, take this, non-believers. It's a soul story about a cult. Okay, cult activities. Okay, cult. Okay, well, this is weird. Like, cult divers? Anyways, let's see where this goes. Changing the subject, Holmes wasn't able to make much progress with the evil book, since he doesn't know enough about ciphers or ancient cultures. But we know someone that does.
Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson, a real pleasure to see you. I say, where have you been? You've stayed away for some months now.
Indeed, we took a very long journey and barely made it back. However, we have more important matters to discuss. Didn't you say you have some knowledge of ancient people, their language, writings, and customs?
Indeed I did, Mr. Holmes. Why do you ask?
You are just the man we need. I ran across this esoteric text during our travels and wondered if... Is there something wrong, Barnes?
Mr. Holmes, wherever did you find this? This book, it is worthy of a museum.
If you could be so good as to translate some of these fragments for me, I would be in your debt. I am particularly interested in these pages here. They are in the poorest condition and therefore appear to be the most used.
With pleasure. I will get to work straight away and keep you informed of my progress.
Let's see what we can do to pass the time.
Strand! Get the Strand! 3 ships still missing at sea! All aboard feared lost! Get the Strand! Latest word on the missing ships!
Just in time, my dear irregular. Storm of the century. It's been raging for 2 weeks off the Scottish and Irish coastlines, and seems to be getting worse. 34 ships reported missing. And there are reports coming from Europe, the Americas, Africa, and Oceania, all about deteriorating sea conditions. Okay, so this is like... weird. Like, ooh, what a coincidence. We are dealing with the supernatural here. And it's amazing. And then there's more about Arsène Lupin. Yeah, boy, we have bigger fish to fry. With these storms in mind, Holmes has an idea, but we need a chart of the coastlines without asking Barnes, since he's busy with the translation. Well, if we need a sea chart, to the harbor we go. We ask the barman, and he says that he thinks he has one in storage. If we can find it back there, it's ours. Oh no, we have to examine the fucking map. I have kind of an embarrassing confession. I'm scared of maps. Yeah, some people are scared of spiders, others of geckos. I'm scared of maps, of real places specifically. Just looking at a map makes me feel ill. The worst ones are the ones that show rivers and their hundreds of offshoots in detail, but these old black and white ones aren't far behind. And we have to look at it, and we can't even zoom in more. Sometimes zooming in makes it a little bit better, but no, the zoom is fixed, and we have to look at it until we find a very specific location. Those numbers that Davy wrote, they're coordinates. Do I know how to read coordinates in a sea chart? No, I just want to close my eyes. I'll probably glue a sticky note to my monitor while I'm editing this, because I just hate maps. The walkthrough isn't a lot of help because it gives us the name of the town that's closest to the coordinates. A good 10 seconds of watching me navigate the map will tell you that a name won't help much, especially if the person looking for the name just wants to close their eyes and never look at a map ever again. But eventually, the coordinates are found. Hip hip fucking hooray! Back to the bar to ask the barman if he knows anything about the town in question.
Did you find everything to your liking?
Indeed, you are as good as your word. I found the charts just as you said. Does the name Ardnamurchan mean anything to you?
Ah, yes. It's a lighthouse along that very coastline. Legend has it, the place was built over a pirate's hideaway. In fact, now that I think on it, That spot is right in the middle of the tempest that is taking down all those ships. Rather odd-looking building. They say the chap who built it, Stevenson I believe his name was, that he fancied up the entrance with foreign symbols, Egyptian obelisks and even a dog with wings. Strange fixings for a lighthouse, isn't it?
We head back to Barnes, and it seems that he's finished the translation.
Mr. Holmes, I was able to translate the pages that you wanted. Come, I will show you. This book is quite ancient. It tells of a terrifying sect devoted to strange entities. The descriptions are vague, but we can presume the origin of this myth arises from the destructive Leviathan represented in the Bible, a creature said to sleep and dream in a strange city under the sea.
A nightmare sleeping within the sea.
To be exact, the pages you asked me to translate are in fact a prayer or invocation to this entity and the description of the ceremony associated with it. To be frank, what is described in this book would make one laugh, were it not for its reliance on such horribly obscene, morbid, and bloodthirsty language.
And this ceremony, what can you tell me about it?
Promise me you will not laugh. The book says that hundreds or thousands of years ago, during a particular alignment of the stars, a priest performed these rites, invoking the name of a destructive Leviathan. The priest intoned his name and called for his return to this earth so his followers could give him his due. The priest then asked a representative of each nation on the earth to recite the invocation and sacrifice themselves to the sea from atop a colossal natural rock tower surrounded by water. All this is quite absurd, isn't it?
Pray continue, Barnes.
As you like. It goes on to say that the ceremony must be held under the image of the messenger of the outside gods. Nothing more exact is said on these entities. However, from their description, their messenger would have a form rather close to the Egyptian Sphinx, except that his face is without feature and jet black in colour. So an idol in its likeness must be present during the ceremony. But can you imagine that? Some so-called priest and an international crowd atop a tower singing in unison before some faceless winged stone lion?
I can imagine it very well, Barnes. You say that these people are to throw themselves into the sea so that their god will have his due. But what is it about? What does this god seek?
That's the most preposterous part of this tale, and proves it to be pure myth and fancy. Even for the sake of argument, this ceremony could never have happened. In such ancient times, it would have been quite impossible to gather representatives from every nation on Earth and in one place.
I understand, Barnes. Humour me a bit more and please answer my last question. What would this Leviathan want from us?
Indeed, we would owe this creature our world. According to this, complete the ceremony and the collective sacrifice, invoke the demon, and he will arise and swallow the earth. Yes, Holmes, they sought nothing less than the end of the world. What nonsense!
Thank you, Barnes. I must leave now. Goodbye.
Listen, although it is out of character, I do like the outsourcing of skepticism to Barnes. Being the skeptic is very out of fashion nowadays, especially in a way that belittles other cultures, and especially in a way that makes you look stupid because we, the audience, know that there is something supernatural at hand here. So I think it was a smart decision to leave Holmes and Watson mostly out of it. And it's not completely, absolutely outside of their personalities to humor the deep ones a little bit, especially after everything they've seen, in my opinion at least. Well, onto the mysterious lighthouse.
Look, Watson! The light is barely lit! This explains the shipwrecks and recent disappearances!
Holmes, if we do not find a place to land, and soon, I fear they will add our names to those poor souls lost in these seas. Oh, my God! Holmes! Look! The sea! It just swallowed him!
Lambs for the slaughter! Watson, we must stop this!
Ooh, I love how the lighthouse looks here. It's very simple, but the dark sky, the green light, yes, very nice. Also the duo constantly shouting even though they're like a foot away from each other is really funny to me. When we approach these geysers, Holmes shouts for us to remember the words of McGranty. Wait, that was a pirate, right? Let's see, documents, pirate book. Holmes, what the hell are you talking about? Or like, maybe I'm blind that I can't see the directions? But like, I'm not seeing them here. I'm starting to question my sanity. Though, looking at the map, we're in a small, barren isle, so it shouldn't be too hard to figure it out. In these ruins, we pick up a piece of rope and note that there's a barrel with fresh water over there. Is it just me or does that rock kinda look like a head? Over yonder, we get the pickup prompt on this mast, but not right now. Okay, noted. Ooh, an iron bar. Back to the geysers, if we head directly to the head-shaped rock, eventually Holmes says that this must be the place. We use the iron bar on this rock here, revealing a secret underground passage.
I begin to think those pirate tales are more than mere superstitions.
You may well be right, Holmes. And about the ghost?
Who knows, Watson? Who knows?
Holmes!
Come on, Watson. We are men of science, aren't we? A real danger waits for us in this lighthouse, if we reach it. To reassure you, I will take the lead and go down first. Let's see. It seems to me it is rather an abrupt descent. How should we go about this?
For the sake of critique, I have to say that this chicken side of Watson is absolutely not canonical, but I find it really charming. Like, he's more cautious, sure, but not in a cowardly way. It's more in a, Holmes, do not dress up in drag to attract the Ripper and confront him. Please. Holmes, don't even think about going to the sketchy-ass opium lounge alone. Reasonable stuff. But anyways. We use that flimsy rope to go down, but we fall and get separated from Watson. At least the lamp didn't break. Let's explore the caves then, and hopefully find a way into the lighthouse. And hopefully not get stuck in the Satan's ballsack squeeze.
The only foe I could hope to beat with that is a serving of pudding, and even then only if it were lightly prepared.
No, you don't get it. I need Frogwares to make a classic point-and-click game where you can examine everything and hear the main character's thoughts, but with this Holmes. I need it. Also, skeletons conspicuously pointing at something. Probably in my top 10 props of all time. We can use the dagger to somehow open this doorway. It breaks into two, but we still keep it. We walk through a corridor which leads us to a vast chamber. Hey man!
Poor devil, alcohol has killed him.
From the skeleton, we pick up a soda can with a string, a weird canteen. I then get completely disorientated when switching to first person, but after a while, regain my bearings. There is a scaffolding and some boxes to the left, one of which has been carefully sealed. Prying it open with the broken dagger, we find sails. Well, they should serve as good rags if nothing else. Here there's also this ramp leading up to this rock, and Holmes comments that there's definitely something here when he looks at the barrel. Apparently we can't tie the rags to the barrel and climb up, so let's continue exploring. To the right, there's a passageway leading to some rust. and a flask with some vile concoction inside.
This should prove useful.
Wait, what is that? Large funnel? Well, we do have a few containers with small openings. It should prove useful if we want to fill them with something. And look, another piece of rusted rust, but this one is vaguely shaped like a letter, so we take it. And we cannot use it on the rock to reach the barrel for some reason. Maybe we need to fix it somehow? Back to exploring. There's another passageway to the left, and there's an opening to the surface here. We try calling Watson, but nope, he can't hear us. To the side, there's this pile of bones, and we pick up a few of them. Apparently because they would make good torches? I mean, we have a lantern, but okay. Lastly, there's another way, but it's basically a little lake with spikes. Holmes notices a rock above. If we could dislodge it somehow, we would probably be able to pass. I try using everything I have. Nope, the bones don't serve as a lever to dislodge it, just nothing works. Back to the main chamber. No, yeah, the ladder just won't ladder, we're stuck. Checking the walkthrough, we have to tie our lantern to this hook. Yeah, of course Holmes can reach that, don't worry about it. And then we have to lift it up so we can actually look at the barrel. Apparently having it in our hand wasn't any good for reasons. And we find out that we have a powder keg in our hands, probably still functional. Oh my god, imagine if the game let me tie the rags to it and hoist Holmes up. That thing would have fallen and RIP Sherlock's hearing. And Sherlock himself, maybe. We use the canteen to take a bit of gunpowder, and that's that. And yeah, we can't take our lantern back. For reasons. I would have respected it if, like, we tried to lower it back down and then it fell and broke. Like, yeah, it happens, but Holmes just decides to leave it up there and stay in the dark. For no reason. And now we are stuck again. We clearly need matches to light the torch and our mini powder keg, but we don't have matches. What we're supposed to do is go back to that opening and use the large funnel to amplify our voice and call Watson, and then he throws us the matches. But the game is kinda not registering that I'm holding the funnel. I don't know if it's because I was coincidentally holding it when I first tried to call for Watson, so I didn't fail the way I was intended to fail, so now I'm softlocked here, or if it's a random Frogwares bug with no rhyme or reason. But yeah, save transplant.
Watson!
What? Is that the ghost?
Watson! It's me, Holmes!
The ghost of Holmes? Whatever are you up to now?
Watson! Woohoo! Watson! Oh good, Watson, here you are, at last.
It is definitely me, Holmes. Don't worry, I am here at my post and steady as a rock.
Rather hard of hearing lately, sorry my dear Watson. Would you happen to have some matches on you?
Well, yes. Take these.
Thank you, Watson. You've done all you can. Now go and find some shelter from this storm. I believe I'm on the right path now.
No bother at all, Holmes. I will be close by. Just call out, and I'm your man.
There's a good man. Where would I be without my Boswell?
Okay, light the torch, light the bomb, kaboom. Walks past the spiky lake, grab this waist sash. Back to me actually playing. We bust this padlock, change the thingies here. They show how many we got right, I guess. Like, I don't know. I think so. The waist sash is actually a leather belt, which we can use here, pull the lever, and boom, open the gate. We reach a new cave with these holes that lead to an underground river, and oh, this is not a passageway, just an alcove. Okay. After a while, I realized that, well, all we have are the torches, so just throw them in there. On our fourth attempt, there's apparently something down there, so we grab the leather belt and down we go. I like when we can reuse items like this. Almost never happens, so I appreciate it. In this further cave, we grab the spag leg, and Holmes luckily doesn't have the idea to go into Satan's ballsack there. Walking further into the cave, we can use the leg to open this door. And there it is, the secret pirate treasure. I try to immediately continue on through this passage, but Holmes goes, I haven't examined everything here yet. Dude, have you truly never heard of trap treasures that kill you the second you take something? Well, we take a saber and aren't dead, so thank you, pirates. Continuing on our way, we're eventually stopped by this body of water that is just a little too wide to jump across. Whatever are we gonna do? Why, call Watson, of course.
Watson! Watson!
Here am I, Holmes!
We ask him to throw a mast down at us, and soon we have a bridge. Where would we be without you, Watson?
This light must come from inside the lighthouse. What is that ungodly stench? No time for speculation. I must lift this stone. Oh my God!
We need some water to put this toxic smoke out, so we open the lighthouse door, reuniting with our beloved Watson, and running to the ruined shack, grabbing some fresh water from the barrel, then running back.
Bravo, Holmes!
Then Ashmat, Arson's servant, is like, "Whoa, I am the one true old gods believer, you stand no chance." And him and Watson get into a shootout while we calmly put out the toxic smokes and mess with the levers here. Okay, I'll allow it. I don't want to think about the kinds of bugs that would arise if Frogwares tried to rig a crouching Holmes animation. We drop this crate and Ashmat runs away up the lighthouse, with us following close behind.
Take caution. He is most certainly waiting for us upstairs. I will try to lure him into range, and this time take aim at his head.
Holmes, but I have no more bullets.
Then fate is against us, Watson, unless, if his belief is his strength, perhaps it is also his weakness.
Watson, I don't want to take a big steaming dump on your invaluable assistance, but you knew that we were heading into a little lighthouse isle in the middle of nowhere to fight crazy cultists. And you didn't fill all your pockets with bullets. I tried to pick up the books downstairs. I mean, they must have something about the faith, right? But no, that's not it. What we actually have to do is grab this piece of wood, draw the symbol of the old gods, and
Gnarch Code Harlem Silustige Sabala Hor.
Sorcery, or the power of suggestion, is truly powerful. You be the judge. Further up we go.
Your friend will have a hard time, and you too, my friend.
So here we have a fight scene which I'll happily tell you is actually canon compliant. Yeah, in case you have never read the books, beneath the classic Deerstalker, Pipe, Magnifying Glass, and Elementary, there's a lot of lesser known crazy stuff about consulting detective Sherlock Holmes, including the fact that he's an outstanding pugilist. Anyways, Holmes holds this guy at saber point and demands to know where the key to the top of the lighthouse is. And the guy says like 7 times that you never have it while my friend is alive. He has it deep in his... And Holmes just keeps asking where the key is. God, you were doing so well, Frogwares, but this is so out of character that I just can't excuse it. Anyways, the guy falls to his death. Watson manages to open the door, saying that the other guy luckily broke his neck in the fall. I try to go grab the key, but the prompt doesn't appear, so up we go. On the way, we find a note saying that if they don't change the lighthouse light to the creepy green light, the ritual won't work. Okay, good to know. After what was supposed to be the end of their leg day, the duo realizes that yeah, we need that key.
Your intentions are good.
Okay, fine. Stomach. Let's go cut him open.
You do not think that he could have...
Yes, Watson, you once again grasped the obvious. He must have swallowed the key. I will have to...
No, Holmes. I am the doctor here, and we have little time. Sword?
I absolutely love this touch. The doctor jumping right out. Well, let's go stop the end of the world, shall we?
Watson!
Holmes, at last here you are. Our informants did not lie. You are a most resourceful and cunning man. And you will have your reward, for you will be in the first box waiting his return. He is near. Can't you hear him? Can't you feel his breath? Leave them.
It is time to stop this madness, Lord Rochester. All those people sacrificed for nothing.
Flesh. Nothing but soft flesh.
Think of your mother. She never gave up. She always loved you, always searched for you.
A soft-fleshed creature with no more value than dust. My true mother is the deep blue abyss where my master awaits. He summons me to join the light of abyss. Join us, Holmes, and you will be part of the dream. Sing with me now. Sing!
Do something, Holmes! I won't be able to keep them back for much longer. And, my God, the sea is rising! Holmes! Make haste, or we are lost!
Stand firm, Watson. There may be a way.
Ooh, it's the treasure guy that was supposedly lost at sea. Okay, evil patch face, pop off. Unrelated, but I must say that I really appreciate how Frogwares realized that their games are not responsive enough for timed puzzles and stealth sections. I mean, with the first-person perspective being implemented, they could have had a few of those since there's no movement problems there. But I guess they were thinking about me specifically and just went, let's not inflict 67 bouts of nausea on Liv. Appreciate it, man. So we changed the light back to normal and thwart their evil plans. Yippee!
You will never reach the end of your song, Rochester. Take heed as your choir is leaving. Come with me. This place is dangerous.
You don't understand, Holmes. He is here. He has come.
Rochester!
I called you. You came. Take me! I belong to you! The world is yours! Oh, great!
A singular destiny was the fate of young Lord Rochester. Those who saved him from drowning in those dark waters off the Indian coast served only to cast him into the true abyss, that of madness, a brilliant young man of noble blood whose intelligence was perverted to the service of appalling ancient rites. What did he see or envision that transformed him into such a beast? To bring all those wretched souls to the slaughterhouse like so many sheep, then assemble a confederacy of criminals and psychopaths like the sinister Dr. Gyjax, who used the sale of precious stones to ensure only the purest and most robust racial specimens were obtained for his purposes. Such men who would survive not only a long voyage imprisoned in the depths of a ship's hold, but the torture and drugs intended to hammer into their brains a sordid litany from the end of ages. Monster and genius, one and the same. Next was the discreet placement of his men in cities ideally located to secure representatives of every nation on Earth. Blacks and Chinese gathered in the Americas, the people of Oceania and Asia in London, Eastern and Central Europeans gathered in Switzerland. Their delivery timed to the exact moment and place dictated by ancient rites and a precise stellar alignment. Finally, to find the only building perched over the water, where the builder had the convenient caprice to install Egyptian statues and then to eliminate the lone occupant, taking their place by posing as their nephew and traditional heir to the post. Did genius create the evil, or evil the genius?
You are awake, Holmes?
Your moans got the better of my sleep, Watson. I assume you had the nightmare again?
Indeed, Holmes. And this time the memories of that dreadful adventure were so vivid and real. Everything came back to me, as if it were happening again.
All the better, Watson. It is because you had begun to forget. The best therapy would have been for you to write on the subject, but what we saw and endured must never be revealed.
True, Holmes. We have never even spoken on it. But do you believe that had we failed, if we had not arrived in time, if this strange ritual had seen its end?
Who knows, Watson? Who knows? But you speak of the past. What troubles me more is the future.
Whatever do you mean?
We eliminated, or have every reason to think so, a formidable threat to our society. But by doing so, we resurrected another, a hidden danger, one laden with hate and moved by vengeance, a ticking bomb, waiting. And a danger wearing a face I know far too well.
And that was The Awakened. That was the most random, flimsy cliffhanger I've ever seen, but hey, let's ignore that for now. I'm actually impressed at the improvement in all areas compared to the Silver Earring. Most locations don't have that distinctively cardboard box feel to them. The pacing of the story is much better. The whole concept and the story are great. There were less bugs. All the locations have their own very distinctive feel. I agree with the vast majority of adaptation decisions made. There were admittedly less "we need a safe transplant" moments. Our new home lab is very intuitive. Despite me mentioning the yassification of Sherlock Holmes, and despite me not really liking him looking like this, I do like this redesign of him. He still looks very Holmes-like, but more aesthetically pleasing. I also love what they did with Watson, going in the opposite direction of what they did with Holmes. Like, let's be real, previous Watson looked like a twink wearing a fake mustache. And I hadn't realized how much the exact same body model being used for both of them bothered me, until we got this more corpulent model for the Doctor. As for adaptation decisions, I really like them. Yes, the Silver Earring is technically more faithful to the canon and how the stories usually went, and it's interesting how the mystery isn't really explained throughout so that people can have a crack at solving it. But let's be real, that final 20-minute cutscene doesn't really make for engaging storytelling. Different mediums, different ways to tell a story, and Frogwares realized that here. Now, I feel I have to touch on it. The door situation. Yes, it looks insane, but credit where it's due, it seems like that was mostly a Baker Street problem, and Frogwares got their shit together for the scales of other locations. Mostly. Anyways, I think that's mostly it. So let's get into the next Frogwares title, Nemesis. I should have probably read those Arsène Lupin articles, shouldn't I?